excited about this humorous speech. Kind of like little Johnny was when he was at school on Friday afternoon. He was sitting in his classroom and the teacher says, "If anything interesting happens this weekend, I want you all to be prepared to come and tell us about it come Monday morning." Well, the weekend took place. Monday morning came along and Johnny was ready. I mean, he couldn't hardly stand it. He was ready to tell his story. And the teacher says, "Johnny, looks like something interesting happened to you this weekend. Would you like to share it with us?" He stood up and says, "Yes, ma'am, I would." It says, "Me and my daddy went fishing. We both caught 75 catfish, and they all weighed 75 pounds. And the teacher said, "Now, John, you know that didn't really happen." He said, "Yes, ma'am, it did. My daddy's a great fisherman. I'm even better than he is. We both caught 75 catfish, and they all weighed 75 pounds. And the teacher said, "Now, John, what if I told you on the way to school this morning, I was walking down the sidewalk, minding my own business, when all of a sudden, out from behind a tree jumped this great big old grizzly bear, and he reared up on his hind legs and he roared, and he was just about to devour me, when all of a sudden this 10-pound yellow dog ran up, grabbed that bear by the throat, slung him on the ground, rolled him down the hill, and killed that bear." I said, "Johnny, would you believe that?" He said, "Yes, ma'am, I would. As a matter of fact, that was my dog." Life is funny, isn't it? I believe life is funny. If we just pay attention to the funny things that happen, life is funny. Family life is funny, isn't it? I brought my wife with me this evening, my beautiful wife, sitting back there. We dated for 6 years before I finally caught the question. Because it's a scary thing, isn't it, marriage? You can't take those things too lightly. So I wanted to be sure about it. Matter of fact, when I proposed to her, it was Christmas of 1999. I was kind of thinking that Y2K thing was going to help me out there, but it didn't. But we got married and we've had a beautiful marriage, but those first 6 months were rough, weren't they? I mean, they were tough. And probably most of it was my fault. My wife treated me like a god. She brought me 3 burnt offerings a day. I mean, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. But we really have a great marriage, and we love to laugh at our mistakes and the things that have taken place. And I told her, if she ever leaves me, I'm going with her. Okay? Life is great. My daughter is hilarious. She's funny. I got up one Sunday morning. I was going about a 2-hour trip to another church, so I was up and ready before the rest of the family was ready. But I was all dressed up and ready to go. My daughter looked at me and said, "Daddy, you look handsome." Man, your heart just melts. She's 4 years old, your heart just melts. And she says something like that. And then the very next thing out of her mouth was, "Daddy, don't wear your pants so high." I guess you got to take the bad with the good, don't you? Some of you are laughing because you're thinking the same thing, aren't you? She is hilarious. One of the funniest things that she's ever done. She came into the living room one day and she goes, "Daddy, sit down, I'm going to preach." So she set me down on the couch and she got her a book and she set it on the coffee table and she proceeded to go, "Blah, blah, 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 Jesus. Blah, 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 go UK." Yeah, I think she was getting our 2 religions mixed up there a little bit. You know, talking about preaching, church life is funny, isn't it? I mean, those of you that are active in your church, who attend church on a regular basis, doesn't funny things just happen in church? I traveled around to a lot of different churches and I've accumulated some actual bulletin misprints. Here's some things that have actually been found in church bulletins. The Low Self-Esteem Support Group will meet Thursday from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Please use the back door. Church rummage sale. Good opportunity to get rid of anything not worth keeping, but too good to throw away. Don't forget your husband. I didn't normally think that was all that funny, to be honest with you. Peter Matthews, in memory of his wife, is donating a loudspeaker to the church. Weight Watchers will meet at 7:30 p.m. at the First Presbyterian Church. Please use the large double doors at the side entrance. Here's the last one. Tonight's sermon, What is Hell? Come early and listen to our choir practice. Life is funny, isn't it? If we look for the humor. When we first moved into our house, our shower didn't work, and I had to take a bath that Sunday morning. And I don't know about you, but I hate baths. I'm a shower person. I like the water to beat the dirt off of me. I don't like to sit in a pool of water with the dirt floating around me. But this particular morning, I had to take a bath because the shower wasn't working. And I noticed when I got up that morning, we didn't have a plug for the drain. So I started I got a rag and tried to clog it up. I got this piece of rubber we had laying around to try to stop the drain. I got a plastic baggie to try to stop it. And I got all these different concoctions and mixed them all up together, trying to get the water to stay in the bathtub, and I couldn't get it to work. I did get it slowed down a little bit, but by this time I had run out of hot water. So here I am, sitting in the bathtub, aggravated because I had to take a bath instead of a shower, aggravated because all my hot water is gone, so I'm taking a cold bath, and I'm sitting there washing up, all aggravated, and I happen to glance up at the front of the bathtub, and I notice this little chrome lever. And I pulled that lever up, and lo and behold, the water stopped running down the drain. Life is funny, isn't it? We just got to learn to laugh at ourselves. I always tell everybody, you might as well laugh at yourself. Everybody else is. So if we just stop to see the humor, it'll be all right. Life is funny. And that is what makes life so much fun. Toastmasters.